Welcome back, man. Welcome back to AGBtv, man. We just got back from Rumble on the East, man. We about to talk about it.
Let's go. Welcome back in the stool. We have a special guest with us tonight. Introduce yourself for the people.
BullyUnit Frenchies. You know, a little side quest of BullyUnit, Connecticut. Rasa checking in. You know, I do the Frenchies on this side. My pops do the pocket bullies and everything that he got going on over there. But BullyUnit Frenchies on Instagram. Tap in, give me a follow and a like. You know what I mean? You can see what we got going on for our camp.
Connecticut in the building.
Definitely an established group, too. They got some monsters over there with the bullies. Some real crazy features and definitely some fluffies and some exotic waves coming out of the Frenchie group with you, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Rumble on the East Coast. Let's get into it. What you got, Leo?
I was just about to ask you guys what you thought about it today.
What'd you think?
You know, man, I think the East Coast is definitely coming up. I think that it's going to be something to talk about soon, you know. Once these states start really sticking together and start pulling out and showing out, it's going to be something. Especially with the help of AGBtv, we coming back and we're going to make the East Coast shine. So, you know.
Definitely put the best in front of the lens and you know, tell the story that way. You know, so they say that the dogs do the talking, so that's what we're going to allow the camera and the people to see all over the world what the East Coast has to offer.
Yeah, there was definitely some good bulls out there and seen a little different stuff for the Frenchies and stuff going on, but it was a nice little show out there. Trophies was nice.
Matter of fact, there was more Frenchies in there than I expected. There was definitely
everybody.
You guys know I'm doing the Frenchies, breeding Frenchies now. Ross is doing the Frenchies. He's breeding Frenchies, and you know, so that's what kind of our eyes, you know, start to go towards. And there was a lot of Frenchies. They was running two classes at the same time. So on one side of the ring, they was running the bully classes, and on the other side of the ring, they were running the Frenchies. Also, make the show go a little quicker. They had June Williams judging the bullies. And ABs, I think, and then Justin Crawford, both out of Texas, coming all the way out to Connecticut to judge the Frenchies, and both of them have pretty good experience with both those breeds, and can judge the way they like.
Man, and to speak about the Frenchies, shout out to CG7 Frenchies Blue Ivy. She was dope, man. That boy had a dope dog. He also does the stack tables. He's located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Tap in, man. You can get yourself a stack table. You know, I took some notes while I was at the show, so I'm gonna be shouting some people out while we doing it, man. Another person out there was Weedham Bulls Lewis, so you got to tap in with that boy. He has some nice dogs over there too. Matter of fact, he bought his first bully from me. Yo, it's crazy. I had a bunch of people at the show that bought some dogs from me.
Some history in the building.
Yeah, that was pretty dope, man. One of my friends brought out a dog that I produced. She's out in school right now. She brought out Bean, so that was dope. What y'all seen out there?
I like Blue Ivy. You know, I was going back and forth with home.
Blue Ivy's a bully or a Frenchie?
A Frenchie.
Frenchie. Yeah, no.
I missed it.
It was a Merle.
That little Merle
yeah,
that was stacking next to.
AT Merle.
I'm gonna have to do my homework. I'm gonna go look.
Yeah,
it up.
man.
Blue Ivy?
She compact. She was nice. Yeah,
She's nice. I'll be, it's friendly, but we be talking shit in the ring and shit like that. But I was giving it to him in the ring at the last show too. I'm like, yo, I'm stacking right next to you. You know what I mean? I want to smoke. I need some competition out here. So I brought that Geronimo daughter out, and she showed out, and his dog is fired.
So I had to take my notes, man.
Yeah. So I'm kind of trying to get in my mind real quick and tell you what I saw that was like. Let's start with the bullies. For the bullies, 995 bullies. Tate had one of the nicest dogs, most complete dogs out there. It was just beautiful. Like, it looks like a toy. It does not look real. And so, I talked to him, and I give him his props, like producing something like that. Devil Sauce is his name, and that dog is just fire all around. Everyone I talked to, I was like, yo, what do you think about this? Especially the judges, while I'm shooting with the camera in the ring, I'd be like, what do you think about this dog? And everybody in the building really could appreciate that dog for what it is, and that's a production. So shout out to Tate, Devil Sauce.
Yeah, Tate been doing this thing. Shout out to Tate for real, because I had bred to his dog Kodak Black back in the day.
Word.
You know what I mean? That boy Johnny was outside.
Go back, with Mass Pike.
Yep, Johnny was outside. Shout out to my boy Brandon. Brandon came outside.
Brandon came out with this chocolate.
It's been a minute since we seen Brandon, man. Case bullies, man.
Yeah, so
it's been a minute.
That dog was definitely hard with the ticking on the chest. That female, this big chocolate.
Oh, he had it today. I ain't see it.
Yeah, it was very nice, very nice. Frenchie side, I'm a shout out Lala Frenchies because that dog Petunia. You saw Petunia? I mean the compactness of the back on the fluffy, is beautiful. And it's got that chocolate and merle color.
Yeah,
so,
yup.
Or it's fire. But the big camp that caught my eye and I was able to chop it up with was New England French Connection. New England French Connection. If you go check them out, they the owner of Mr. Potato Mr. Potato.
Yeah, he's fire.
Mr. Potato.
Yeah.
And then
He's
the production,
fire.
his son. I can't even think of the son's name, but it's a black and tan dog. Fire.
Shoulders, everything. Like,
Compact, girth, and it's his own style. It's beautiful. So shout out to those people. I think dogs I would have liked to seen there, maybe for like the East Coast, maybe like a Pootie Tang or like a
Nah. But he
like-
don't live in the East Coast no more.
Oh, I don't know he moved.
Yeah, home. He not out here.
I be off
Where
the
he went? Where he
Instagram,
went?
bro.
Where he went? I know. I don't think he in Connecticut no more.
Well, maybe not, but
I don't even think he like close to the East Coast.
that's
wow.
Frenchie, right?
nah,
Nah,
Pootie Tang's
Pootie
a
Tang's,
chocolate tribe.
chocolate tribe,
Chocolate
yeah.
tribe bully.
Frenchie
So
Pootie
yeah,
Tang.
maybe that's I didn't know he even
Nah,
moved.
yeah, I don't know.
One
Yeah,
I
don't
know
think
that
he's out
is
here.
still in Connecticut though that I would have liked to seen today was All Americans Connecticcut CT Exotics.
Oh
guy.
yeah.
and
He wasn't
I've
there.
been looking to see that dog in person, so I might have to connect with him. On the back end, and
That would have
see
been
that dog.
real shit. That would have been nice to see him, have him over here. I want to see, how Ryan felt about him naming him All American. Ryan loved that goddamn name,
Oh yeah,
American everything.
You know what I liked about the
Marketing.
show too? The gating where they make you walk your dog around the ring. That was different. We don't do that.
So that was missing. You saying?
Yeah, that
missing.
was tough. Like, and make you see who really working with the dog. Like, could do more to just stay still, is walking correct. You can see everything.
Well, you competed in the ring today. What was your experience? You had to gate or you did not have to gate?
So at one point with the American Bullies, you had to gate. Like, you had to walk them around and stop them and get your hands on them and stuff like that. And then I think they did it like 3 rounds of you walking around and then stopping and then stacking your dog up and everything like that. And I ain't never do that before, so it was definitely like a different experience to like somebody watching your dog move and checking if your dog is walking properly and if it's just
Your connection with your dog, how you work
if
with
your
him.
dog is pulling. And he was showing them like, yo, you need to go work with that dog right there because he pulling you or you dragging the dog across the green. So there's definitely a little different style of that show that I like because the little fun shows that we be having in the East Coast and stuff, we don't normally see that. So that was something that they
I
brought
think
down.
fun shows across the nation have gotten away from those type of sanctioned show activities.
gating,
Right?
yeah.
Like gating is mostly hey, get as many people in the class, get this class done with quick,
Yep.
just stack them up, maybe do a front and maybe a side
Side.
shot. If it's a big class, they'll maybe break it down to the top 10 or top 5 and then just kind of go from there.
Well,
so
yeah.
so yeah, the work is important and to see that in a fun show, that's definitely
Yeah, that was
unique.
fire.
Yeah.
Well, to speak about it, because a lot of people think that it was just exotics or whatnot there, but I ran into Bull Mass Prominence Birto that owns the Django, a chocolate farm, and his boy Ron that owns his son Blaze, and they was crazy.
Are we
He's
talking-
a standard dog.
Standard dog?
Standard, yeah.
No, the American
was
Bully
they
class
were
in
crazy.
the ring was there was a lot of
There was
dogs.
there was
yeah,
some out, yeah.
yeah. So
These dogs, because I was just telling him, I was like, even though I don't really breed that style of dog, I respect all of the styles of dogs, especially when the dog is hard. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
there was an XL there with the 27-inch head.
Yeah, you serious.
27-inch. I said, yo, what size head is he? He said 27.
How tall was
You
he?
talking about that little Tam?
No, he said it was an XL.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's fawn and white.
Yeah.
The fa-
Nah, he's pocket. You talking about that
Oh,
one that's like a,
no, it was 17 inches. You talking about the one that was right by our booth?
yeah, he's pocket.
He was- nah, he was
or he was
17
standard.
inches. Standard.
He was standard. Yeah,
standard,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
But
he was standard.
He's huge, yo.
which
He
camera?
was he was like
Bruh.
17,
He's
a little
huge,
bit
bruh.
over 17 inches.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
brought out.
He was standard.
tape
I
measures,
measured
everything,
Burner with the wiki today.
What burner coming at?
9.5 inches.
All right. It's
I was like, wow, I thought he was 10.
Yeah, because we was going back and forth with that dog at
Yo, he's
in
crazy.
Bristol at Lockjaw's show, and he threw him on the table, and we were like, yo, what the fuck, like. Get him off the table. That's a big ass dog, and he was like, "He's pocket." And we're like, "Ain't no way," you know what I mean? And so that was before he popped out a little bit, and now he popped even more. So then today we like, yeah, we got to measure him. Like
That's crazy.
there's no way he's pocketing. He just fell into the category of standards, but he's serious, massive dog, massive.
Yeah, 27 inches is definitely. It's a what we call it, the wow factor. The wow factor that pop.
They were
or something
extreme.
make
You know, back in the day, we used
twice.
to call dogs that had freaky features extreme.
What do y'all think about the attendance today? You think there's I've been to the show before in that building.
Yeah, this one was better than the last time we went. We went to it. Yeah,
better. So it's growing and at some point,
consistency helps.
Right. At some points it was.
This isn't their first rodeo, like he said when they came and sat down. So consistency definitely helps.
Yeah.
I don't like that they didn't let us fly the drone.
Yeah,
We still got the footage though, y'all.
Insurance,
We got it for you. We could have got the insurance for him, man. We could have got the insurance for him. Shout out to my guy Mike right here, man. You bred to Geronimo.
Yeah, he's fine.
How you like them puppies? How you like them puppies off of Geronimo?
No, I gotta talk my shit because ever since I got into Frenchies, it was a show in the Dome in like South Windsor or something like that last year.
Bubble.
Oh yeah.
And-
What was the name of that?
So that was Millie and
Yeah, that was Millie and
Abel Show.
IBC
Yeah.
Boo. IBC Boo I think
Yeah.
was involved with that. It was like a
And
few of them.
that was the first time I saw Geronimo, and off rip, I think my female was only like 6 months or something like that, and I'm like, yo, I'm going straight to him off the rip. So Geronimo was fire, but the puppies he threw he's not lacking anything, growth or girth. I like his little factor of it kind of being a little bit extreme and stuff like that, and it's all clean. It's nothing sloppy. And I just want to
that blue and
stunt a
tan
little
girl.
bit.
That blue and tan girl don't got
Yeah.
no back.
I got that blue and tan,
back.
and nobody got that yet, so I got to stunt on that a little bit. I had her in the ring.
Yep, that's right. Geronimo throwing them 10 points out here. You heard?
Yep, and I like them puppies. I can't wait to see what they're gonna bring to the camp. It's just that's the biggest
She
upcoming
did anything
thing right
today?
now.
They did anything
Yeah,
today?
she got third, I believe, for best puppy. I lost to Blue Ivy.
Yeah.
So I be bringing her to shows. I be working her. She works really well too for a puppy that old. She's only 3.5 months, so she's working. She's on the table and everything like that. I'm showing her at the shows, but she's up and coming. I can't wait to see what I'm gonna do with her.
Definitely, congrats to you, man. Yeah, I'm
appreciate
glad
that.
you hit and made something happen. Now we talk. Obviously, we're gonna be doing the breeding and whatnot, and you seem like a program breeder. Like, what's your ideas? What's your thought? What's your philosophy behind this as far as like being young,
Yep.
right, and building your program and kind of in the way you're moving forward?
So I got a lot of, there's a shadow kind of because my dad been breeding for like 30-something years. So,
Decades.
he's showing me the ropes a
Lion
little
Paw,
bit.
shout out Lion
Yeah,
Paw.
shout out my pops, BullyUnit, Connecticut. But he's showing me the ropes. So, it's always stick to whatever you want to make your production into.
Mm-hmm.
Don't follow into the hype. Don't follow into somebody saying, oh, you can come over here and breed for, I know you, this that, and third. Don't do that. Like, stick to the route of what you're doing. So what my vision is creating a fluffy, compact with, the features that the puppies that I got now have and that got off of Geronimo, which is, a thick neck, huge head, short, and, still functioning, no health problems, breathe properly, everything like that. So I'm just trying to make this correct dog and, have some wow factors for everybody to look at. And just the color is like a lot of things people chase, but then when they're chasing the color, most of the time I see a lot of people chase the color and it don't come with the structure that I'm looking for. So I kind of been focused on dogs with good structure that when I'm seeing them, I'm like, okay, I like the way that look. Yeah. But then I see a lot of cool colors.
Oh,
but they're
nuts.
everywhere.
Every week.
Yeah, and I'm like, those colors is crazy, but that dog is like, you know what I mean? So that's kind of it's just staying focused on exactly what I want to see out of the breedings that I'm doing. But I definitely got a lot of I don't know what word to say, but like influence.
Oh yeah, definitely.
On the dog game because I jumped into it and
Well, you had the best mentor.
Yeah. Yep.
They was in the house with you.
I had to take care of him. You know what I mean? So
You was cleaning.
I ain't gonna lie, Mike.
After the-
I ain't gonna lie. When I met Mike, he taught me Lion Paw. He taught me about phenotype and genotype. We got into a conversation one time and we started to break that down. So I got to give him a shout out on that. I started to really understand that once I had that conversation with him.
Yeah, you definitely an OG out here in Connecticut for sure.
Yeah, I remember.
Well
Yo, your dad. We sat down in the house, bro. Home was going through how much Dax could be in a dog based off of the percentages. I was like, yo, this shit's too much, bro.
Yo,
I wasn't ready.
growing up, he on the phone. I'm like, yo, who you talking to? Oh, I'm talking about this dog. Da, da, da. And then like years go by and everything like that, and I just all the time on the phone talking about a dog. And before I even got into dogs, I'm like, yo, you could just sit on the phone and talk about dogs
we did
all
that
day.
a long time.
And
that passion is different,
and
right?
now
Facts.
that I'm breeding and stuff,
Yeah,
like
you doing
it's
the same
funny
thing.
because people be like, oh, we on the phone. I'm like, oh, yo, I gotta figure out something going on with this dog right now. So it's like you gotta have passion for what you're doing for sure, because like it's not just like everybody jump in the game think you're gonna go breed a dog and make thousands of dollars real fast, but it's not that way. You still gotta take care of them, you know, and bring them up and do the right thing with who you're breeding to. You can't always chase a pet and stuff like that. Can't chase color.
Trending or what's popping, what's getting the most attention.
Yep. So
Well, that's the benefit of having a program, because once you bring color into like when y'all talking about the color, to bring pink in, they had to bring a different dog in.
Yep.
To bring a fluto, to make flutos, them different hairs, they had to bring different dogs in. So when you introduce that into
The rope.
a line, a rope, big rope.
Yep.
When you introduce that to your line, you have to have a program to be able to manipulate that while you're going through it to make it look like a Frenchie still.
Yep.
And still want to be able to have it.
That's another. Hey, let's go back because EC Frenchies had one of the better big ropes that I saw in French Bell kennels. French Bulldogs out here in Connecticut had some of the big ropes. And I'm not a big fan of big ropes or some of the trendy stuff. Like Mike's saying, we kind of want to more focus on structure and whatnot. But, you know, as you're going through this path, I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes things look attractive, and you know what I mean.
You know who had a nice?
You want to definitely
Did you
stay
see OJ?
in your lane, your course.
Did you see OJ's girls little?
Yeah.
That was nice.
What's his name?
I forgot his name, but he was nice.
Yeah.
I should have put it in my notes.
Yeah, because he like
I
bully.
slipped up, OJ.
Yeah,
That's on me.
Yeah, because he's like bully. He's a bullier, you know.
He was nice though,
bullier,
compact.
Right.
Yeah.
And
He was
I
real
think
compact.
everyone can appreciate Lugnut too.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean we all know Lugnut.
So
Shout out to
those
Nate.
are ropes.
Stuff.
Those are ropes dogs that have the structure that I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely having a mentor, having someone to talk to. Me and my fiance were talking after the show. I was like, "Hey, how'd you like it?" She said, "Oh, I enjoyed it. This and that. I'm getting better talking dogs." You get me? Like people were coming up to her. I had one of the puppies out, and my girl's carrying it around, and people were asking her about it, like who's it off of, this and that. She's able to answer those questions.
Oh, yeah,
now.
yeah,
She's
them
like,
questions.
I'm enjoying. She's like, I enjoyed the show. Now she have those conversations. I think that's what we like to go to the show, communicate and talk to people that understand exactly what we do, right? Because first of all, we all can appreciate the fact that we got to get up at crazy times. We got whelp.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, do the outrageous whelping. We all spend money on cost to feed and bring new dogs into this world, right? And so once you can be next to someone and those things don't have to be explained, they're already understood, then you could just talk. You could talk shop. You could talk dogs.
Yeah,
You know
shout out the women that help people with their programs, because a lot of these programs couldn't continue if someone didn't have someone helping them out, and then most of the time
Yeah,
somebody's
take a
wife,
village.
girlfriend, something like that. So shout out the women. I like that they had the women classes today for the women to show the dogs too. So that was pretty cool to have someone go out there and like be able to critique your dog the way it's supposed to be looking and know like what they're doing. And it was cool that it was like a woman thing, where it wasn't a lot of people competing.
What's gonna happen when you outbreed your dad?
I need the space, because that's the time coming,
Yeah,
So-
you over here putting
Soon
that
come,
pain in.
Mike.
He's
Yeah, it's
I know
it's
he's
coming.
seeing it. Yeah,
It's coming, because he be talking on the phone. He be like, yeah, this little dude freaking doing this and doing that.
Doing your thing.
And so I always, from the jump, I always wanted, to take one of his dogs. And then when I started BullyUnit Frenchies, my first idea was, before the Frenchies, I was like, yeah, I'll go with bullies. And I'm like, oh, if I go outproduce him, I'm stepping on his toes. And it's like kind of like, he's teaching me what to do. And like I would want to stay on his path with the bullies, because, he introduced me to it. But then I was like, a good idea is he's not doing Frenchies, so I can kind of split off into a lane where I take his expertise and
that
put it
same
into a different
knowledge.
dog. And,
You still in my business plan, man. That's what it was with avant-garde, man. I thought that what I wanted was so that if somebody called me, I didn't want them to have to call nobody else.
Yep.
You feel me? So if they hit me, yo, I want a dog, but your joint too little. Nah, I'm good. I got somebody
these.
for you.
Yep. That's
feel
exactly
me?
what he be doing.
Oh, I wanted a Frenchie. Oh, I don't
I
like
got-
them, but I
I
got
got
somebody
them.
for you.
Yeah.
You
Bully
feel
Unit
me?
come shop, one stop spot, right?
We got everything, man. We got bullies, freaking slingshot. Got some exotics that he probably about to throw his little girl. He got
Or that
girl.
white female.
Yeah, she's fire.
Stacking with no hand. He was actually on the other side of the ring talking and having a conversation. The dog was in
staying
there
still.
parked.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Who?
stacked up.
Who?
Slingshot.
Oh,
got
that little white.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never
Yo,
did the
hey,
ears.
yo, slingshot. Which camera? Where's that? Yo, slingshot. This for
Some
you,
ears
man.
off, bro.
Cut them ears off, bruh.
She's
What's
fire.
wrong with y'all, man? With these dogs with ears, man.
that dog be
He
hard.
he put me. He's like, yo, I got her right there. I was like, you see her? You like her? I said, oh, the Frenchie said that ain't no Frenchie. I
She's
said, oh
tough.
shit.
Yeah.
She's tough, real compact.
Yeah, she do look
great-
good. When
great
I went
chest,
out there
great
to his
fronts.
crib, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's front to back actually. So a lot of the dogs and
Another Connecticut breeder.
I don't want to say too much, but I was again talking to the judges, and some of them was like, hey, it's tough because some of the classes there was more high rears than dogs that with great top lines.
Yeah.
And this is like
Some
all
class.
this is just exact what classes, because when you say that, they're gonna automatically assume it's just exotic dogs.
Put it in the comments. What class do you think had the most
the
high
high
rears?
rears.
I mean, I don't,
same.
I don't need to say
Yeah,
it.
please,
right?
because
So,
we do not want to condone that. We're talking about exotics right now.
what they were talking about was room for progress, room for getting better as far
Always.
as the East Coast, right? And we all know that, right? You look at your dog, evaluate your dog, and if you're honest with yourself, then you know, hey, look, we should, fix this. But at the end of the day, they were saying, look, this is something that we're noticing, right? That dog, what's the slingshot dog name?
Ava.
Front to
Ava?
back,
Clean.
to back, great, and the back and the rear, it definitely sticks out. So
Yep.
shout out to him. Putting together a nice dog.
Yeah.
Your team is solid.
Yeah. I'm glad I could be a part of it. So, shout out Slingshot, shout out my father, BullyUnit, let me join in. I kind of, piggybacked on the name just through BullyUnit Frenchies. So
What do you got heading into the future now? What does the rest of 2025 look like? 2026.
So I got my stud 401k still open for studs, so you can tap in with him. But my Geronimo son, Nuketown, he's up and coming. He's gonna be opening up soon. So I've been trying to get him to the shows and put him out there. But there's a little twist on everything because I'm trying to make something happen when I get a little bit more space. But my father might not like it, but I might be jumping into them exotics too. So you know what I mean. So I just gotta get the space for it.
Welcome to the dark side.
We want a little bit of everything everywhere, you know what I mean? So that's what's on the table for that. And
Hey, I talked to him. He said he was gonna get into exotic too. He was trying to get into exotic. I told him, bro. I tell everybody, man.
so yeah, I like the way exotic dogs look sometimes. So
Sometimes.
hey, it's not
Me
what
too.
I grew into.
Right,
So that's what he showed me a certain dog, and
Well, there's better versions now.
yeah.
And I think you
definitely-
talked
we
about
got
the
some
live
gas.
the live
Shout out E
podcast.
Money. He has a clean exotic Brinks.
Oh, dude with the boots on today.
Yeah, he's
Oh yeah, he was supposed to come today.
When the recap drops, y'all see him in the footage. But yeah, he had a nice what is she, lilac?
Yo, stand straight up with the boots
Yeah.
on, man.
Clean dog. And you're right. If you take something like that as a foundation and you can build it and put whatever you like on it, the right amount of sauce.
yeah.
There's a lot of options that you have as far as studs now. They're all over the place, and you know what you like, so rock out with that.
That's definitely one I'm definitely trying to split the lane in a couple different ways, but with the Frenchies, it's just I got puppies right now, so I'm trying to make them grow
Yo,
up.
tap in. If you're
Yeah.
here, tap in. BullyUnit, Frenchies,
Instagram,
puppies.
Facebook.
Immediately after I had that Geronimo litter, if you go back in the day on Facebook, nothing was for sale. Nothing was for sale. The next litters and
Yeah, that's
stuff.
how it
then
go.
I ended up making a space for him, but I kept everything besides one, and it was to a friend to help him out with a
I feel
foundation
like
camp. so.
Sometimes that's important. When
Yeah.
when you
Especially when you're starting
doing
off.
a
Yeah.
program. I think we use off camera. We was just talking about keeping a full litter of Frenchies,
Yep.
and then running littermate sisters to this, and running that to that, and bring it all back together, and you breed it like like the old school game dogs were bred,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really locking certain
I don't think a
traits.
lot of people really know about that kind of style of breeding because they just keep loosening it up instead of sticking to something that you like and bringing it back to keep in either like a head size or clean structure or something like that, girth. All those things play into play when you inbreed and then line breed and stuff like that. So that's a big shout out to my dad for giving me the knowledge to that kind of stuff, because immediately people just jump around again to what's popular and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I
was talking about that with somebody at the show, because it's hard to have a program if you're going to just keep breeding to the dogs that's hot.
Yeah.
You won't really have. It's hard because look how it switched. Remember Busachi?
Yeah.
Busachi was not the same style of dog as a Crown. So if you were just chasing hot stuff, you bred to him, and then you go to Crown. Like it's all over the place.
Right.
That's all over the place.
We don't know what you got.
Yeah. So it is good to know that type of stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely
hand
on that.
I'm gonna drop another shout out to the East Coast, man. We got 2 shows coming up in the East Coast. Battle of the States, June 28th. All breeds welcome. This show is in Warwick, Rhode Island. Tap in, booths available. Hopefully they can zoom in. You know what I'm saying? Right. Tap in. Shout out to E Money, man. Breadwinners Bullies presents Winners Circles. Bullies and Frenchies, August 30th. I told him that I'm gonna definitely shout him out. I told him, but I'm gonna be in Louisiana, man. We're gonna be down there in Louisiana in the booth. But these are shows in the East Coast, man. The East Coast coming up. Connecticut breeder in the building. My man doing big things.
That's one thing with Connecticut though, and the East Coast in general is we gotta figure out how to stick together, man.
Yeah, I think
it's coming along.
Listen,
baby steps. But
look at Texas, look at California, Florida. It's the same thing. You feel me? The problem I think we have is that we're separate states. You feel me? And they're small. So people have like a tendency to stick to like they state versus being like, yo, let's come together and go crazy against the Texases and the Calis
West
and the Floridas.
South,
you feel what I'm saying? Like that's what we need to do for real, y'all.
Yeah, we're working on
That's
that.
what we need to do.
That's what definitely needs to happen, because people got some fire dogs out here, but
Facts.
and you got to be able to take criticism on your dog. Everybody swear they got the best dog. If somebody says your dog's trash, that's okay because you like them. But you got to be able to take criticism on your dog. That's one thing that I learned coming in the game. Somebody come over, oh, that dog's too big, and I'm like, I'm working on it. You know what I mean? But you go say that to the next man. Sometimes it's
you want to know
what's going on,
you want to know something interesting, something I learned. I was just thinking about it now that you said that. A good way to know the issues that your dog might have.
What's that?
Bring your dog out in public to people that don't know nothing about dogs. You feel what I'm saying? Because they're gonna see your dog and be like, "Yo, why is his ass in the air? why
does he walk like that?
Yeah, why his teeth showing? Is it why home tongue stick out the side of his mouth and touch the ground? Like they'll really ask questions and you'll be like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in the dog game. I feel like sometimes they're learning, and sometimes some people think they know everything, or not willing to learn, or don't even really understand what people are talking about. But some people that's just in the street, they don't be knowing shit, and they'll tell you random stuff, exactly. And you'll be like, "Yo, damn, I gotta tighten up.
Yeah,
I gotta tighten up."
That was like one thing when I watched the last podcast you guys had. You had to ask a question about what makes a breeder.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So when I was watching that, and you guys were saying like, "Oh, producing," but like, yeah, that makes you a breeder. But being able to critique everything that you got going on to keep getting better and better, that's what makes a breeder in my eyes. Is like somebody that's seeing the steps and moving along, and it's elevating. It's not just, oh, I breed dogs. Like some dudes, it's a flex to them to pump 100 puppies for the year, but they're not good puppies. Like not necessarily good puppies, but it's all like the same thing, just different colors or different sizes. But like, you got to clean stuff up. You got to take stuff out. You got to progress over time. So becoming a good breeder is not something that, oh, my dad's a good breeder in my opinion. So I can't just jump in and be like, oh, I bred this dog and this dog, so I'm a good breeder now too, So that's something that East Coast is working on.
Self-critique. I agree. Yeah, self-critique. Add that to the list, Add what you think it makes a good breeder, or what makes you a breeder, in the comments. Let's get some engagement on these podcasts and
I wonder
from the community.
Oh yeah, I think we at some point we're gonna try to get it to a live situation where we can have people comment, but definitely jump into them comments, because I'm wondering what people thought about the show today. I think that it was good for the East Coast. I think there's a lot of things that's happening out here on the East Coast that's going to be good for it. Especially the fact that I think a lot of people over here are trying to actually learn about the dogs and focus on it. You know what I mean? Not so much necessarily like chasing stuff, where a lot of people are focused on building the dog that they have. A lot of people I talk to on the East Coast definitely are working with programs. I'm not talking to a lot of people that's just running to the hot stuff.
Yeah.
Or the things that they think will make them money right
Right, that
now.
may be perceived as behind, but in the long run, the product's gonna be better.
Well, it's consistency. You know, I think I've been breeding since 2009. You know what I'm saying? And the dog that I have now, Burner, has Princess in her. The first dog I ever bought. Shout out to Clear Exotic Bullies. He wasn't Clear Exotic Bullies then, but Kiki. I bought my first dog from him, and she is in every dog I own. So, and that was done purposefully because I wanted to learn. I liked the process. My man Matt always telling me, I gotta enjoy the process. Sometimes I don't like the process, y'all, but I enjoyed that process.
Yeah, enjoy the process.
There was definitely a lot of engagement at this show, though.
I thought
they were teaching
Networking, yeah.
inside the ring. Also, like the judge was letting you know, like, oh, you know, if you're gonna stack him, you need to fix his fronts or you know, fix the rear. And there was more of a learning environment at this show that I feel like too. Also, more than a little bit more of the shows in the past. So I like that atmosphere of people teaching other people at the show. So it was more of a, you know, friendly environment with that going on too. Also,
I could tell that the judging is getting better. I could tell that there's a lot of learning in the process taking place. So that I like seeing that because when we're having these fun shows and we're not having registry shows, a lot of the judges don't train themselves.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And it's important to train yourself because you play a big role into what people are going to be doing and moving forward to. You know, some people pay attention to what these judges pick, and they base their breeding programs off of that. They, you know what I'm saying? They base puppy buying off of that. So it's important that these judges know what they're doing and know dogs. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I like seeing that's definitely getting better. I haven't been paying that much attention to the ring as much as I should have been. I'm definitely trying to pay more attention to the classics, the XLs. I think it's important to shine light on those dogs as well. And we call it AGBtv, not Exotic Bully TV. So we definitely trying to do more of that. And tap in, man. If you're in the East Coast, tap in.
And the Frenchies, we gonna put everyone on the
map. Frenchies took over the world. They the number 1 dog in the world. They don't need no more exposure.
It's been that, and we gonna keep running it up, man. So tap in with BullyUnit Frenchies. You know, Geronimo's still open for studs, so y'all could tap in, use Geronimo. It's doing great. If someone was like, yo, why didn't you bring Geronimo out? I said, look, we're in the other.
Damn, that's a lot of dogs. That's a lot of work, bro. Y'all don't understand. That's a lot of work to have these dogs outside.
I love that boy, man.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. And, you know, we here. We enjoyed ourselves today, I believe.
What's the next show y'all going to?
Get a little sit down.
What's the next show you going to?
You know, it'll be one of these.
Oh, all right,
for sure. Right. Definitely going to Breadwinners show.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be in Louisiana.
That's the one in Rhode Island.
Now the Breadwinners show is gonna be in Mass, Springfield, Mass. Man, it's gonna be in Springfield, Mass.
What's the motion like out of the state for shows? I haven't really like deep down west or down south because those are the shows that I kind of want to.
I'm going to one in Louisiana on August 30th. I'll be down there in Louisiana.
Try to make it out there.
Yeah, that's gonna be in the capital.
Louisiana?
Like, the shows and stuff out west and down south.
No, it's a little different. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You gotta understand those markets are bigger.
Yeah,
it's a bigger market, so it's easier to draw the crowd. That's why I said what I said in terms of having us come together as these states. If we did that, then it's over. Our market is crazy.
I think pre booth sales a lot of times dictates how much the show hosts can put back into the show.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
that's true too.
So if you got a show with 100+ booths, automatically from the jump, you have a better opportunity to kind of set more things up and have more things for everyone coming. So last time we went to Louisiana, it was dope. It was a nice show, you know. And there's dogs. They come out. You know what I mean? They come out.
That's what's up.
Man, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, hit the ding button. It's gonna be somewhere. Man, I got another shout out, Boston Exotics, Kennel Sam. Man, we gonna let my man Bully Unit, Frenchies had the last word, but we out of here, man. Y'all tap in with us.
Tap in with 401k. He's open for stud. Follow on Instagram. Shout out Slingshot Bullies. Shout out Bully Unit. You know, we all over Instagram, all over Facebook. We got everything you need. One-stop shop. Shout out AGB having me on the show. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you at the next one.